We in there now. See? You see us?
Now you see.
Now you see why we be like.
What's that noise? What's that noise?
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day. Welcome again to this Mother's Day edition of the GameFi podcast, where we are talking everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. Again, shouts out to all the mothers out there.
Yes.
This is a special day. Where would we be without our mothers? I don't know.
Not here.
Right. My mama is in Vegas right now, getting it in with my aunties and my cousins and my sister. They all moms. They just getting it in. I'm telling you.
Living it up.
I mean, hey, that's what you do. Mother's Day, you get to do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Ain't that right, Jakita?
It is.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, for sure.
Shout out to Pharaoh and Vivian and Eric Owensby Thomas, who allowed me to be able to become a mom. Pharaoh did it first. They're super sweet.
And then, what kind of gifts did you get today? Let's break the gifts down.
No. Okay, so I'm gonna technically say that it started last night because I had dinner from TGI Fridays. I had big shout out to Kamika from DoorDash, who delivered the wrong order to my house, went back to the TGI Fridays to get my order. My order was out the door, and she advocated on my behalf so that they remade my order so she could bring it to me. Like, she really went above and beyond for that. So she gets the five stars.
What's her name again?
Kamika.
Mm-hmm. And shouts out to DoorDash in general, because they are a sponsor of our show.
They are.
And so, we use it. Yeah. And we can vouch for it. A lot. Everybody needs to be using DoorDash right now, because they go above and beyond to make sure that their customers are satisfied.
She especially did. Most times, they'll refund you your money and kind of keep it pushing, but she actually came through for the win on the pre-Mother's Day festivities. So I did that, watched the verses with my homegirls.
Oh, yeah.
SWV clearly took that.
Escape.
Yeah, that was amazing. When SWV did Week and then did the leg crossover and raised their hands and bowed down, I was like, indeed, this is a wrap. And I know Escape had one more song, and I love y'all. Y'all my ATL sisters, housing ever. So that was amazing. So I got a chance to spend that time with my friends. And then this morning, my children woke me up, and my daughter led me downstairs, and I had beautiful roses and an orchid and a strawberry shortcake, which I absolutely adore. I had
it was in the shape of a heart.
It was.
Wasn't just a regular old strawberry shortcake.
You done good.
Shouts out to Publix.
I got some waist beads from my cousin Elisha in my favorite color. Big shout out to her. I got an extra charm. I have not put it on yet, but I got an extra charm for my Pandora bracelet, because I am a Pandora bracelet fan. And the
charm says Queen. She probably didn't even read the charm.
No, I read it.
You read it? Oh, okay.
I read it because
it has a crown on it and everything.
It does. My daughter has one that I got for her that says princess. And so I was telling her, oh my God, I have a crown now too. And you have a crown. I already had a crown. I had a literal crown because I'm the mama. But now I have a crown for my Pandora bracelet. And then I had some libation. So, for the ancestors. My daughter and I toasted. Well, she had sparkling
cider.
Rosé. She had sparkling cider rosé. And we toasted to the ancestors. And that was it.
Hey, that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it.
And now I'm here.
The awesome women in our family.
I got this shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I got this amazing shirt. You can do all things through Christ except play with me. And that is factual and actual and factual.
Yes, we're twinning today. That couple of twinning.
And then I ain't got there yet.
We're working up to it.
I ain't got there yet.
Chemical came through.
Didn't she, though? With the peach tea, which I'm going to break into just as soon as I get home. And then these beautiful books, one by Maya Angelou, and then another that's a journal that I can keep to write messages to my children. I'm really into that. I'm always trying to have these sidebar conversations with them to impart wisdom. And this is something that they'll be able to keep and have forever. So I really cherish that. And then the grandmother one, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to decide, because my mother-in-law already is keeping her own journal. So what I might actually do is hold that one for when my children have their first children and I get sprinkled with that grandmama dust and lose my mind and then
like all parents do. I don't know what
I don't know who these grandparents
My mama used to knock me out all the time.
Mine too. They didn't play no
obviously
games.
my kids can get away with everything.
I
mean, for real.
Everything.
It's crazy.
But my grandmother used to advocate for me. Big
yeah,
shout out
mine
to
did.
Lizzie
Mine
Kate.
did too. And then my grandmama, who's my father's mother,
Yes,
we were
she's still
celebrating
alive.
her birthday
Our mom.
last week. Our mom, she's 95, so
Yes.
so they got that great grandmama too.
They
So
do. They're blessed.
make sure they call. They're gonna shout her out and
So how was your celebration? Did y'all have fun?
Oh my gosh, the celebration was amazing.
Oh my goodness.
We had we missed the car parade
because everybody, in COVID, everybody's doing the car parade
which
now,
I think is fabulous.
Which is,
I
and
want
I
that
still
to
want to
last.
do it because
Yeah.
we ain't got to clean up afterwards. It makes it so much
gotta
easier
entertain
to
nobody.
celebrate birthdays.
Yeah, I love that. So the celebration was great. We helped set up, and then we came back and just the immediate family, was having. We had a cookout basically under our cousin's carport. Played some bid, got our bid on, whooped up on the elders.
Yeah, I had to whoop on my mama.
Yes,
because she don't think I know how to play.
So we had a really, really good time. We're actually working on that a little. It'll come out down the line, a little something for the bid players.
Oh yeah,
we're working on.
Now, one thing we do have coming up, friends of mine, they Eric and Hearn, they're doing the B Reggae Fest in Piedmont Park, and so that's going to be in August, and we said we're going to put together a spades and a bid tournament for that. So
come on,
we're going to start talking about that soon.
And I ran to Boston on them fools at our mom's birthday party.
Yes,
I did. I got my Boston in. We took them to Worcester a couple of times, but then we went on into Boston.
It was fun. My mama just, I don't know, we hit in the head so many times.
She's a great bid player too. Like
she couldn't understand why we kept winning the way we ran. We were.
Cards were following.
Usually though.
Listen.
We get to arguing because that partner thing sometimes mess up. You don't play the joker when you're supposed to play the joker, or just whatever.
I just don't want nobody micromanaging. You know what I'm saying? My cards, like.
But we've been playing, so you're supposed to have that unspoken play back and forth.
We do.
Okay,
it was cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's been a good Mother's Day thus far.
So that's our gaming talk. So hit the gaming button. Hit the gaming button. We're talking about gaming. Yeah,
All right, Mother's Day. We can make anything be about Mother's Day.
So we're gonna talk a little bit more about just games in general that we love to play, and that we play with our kids, our family, and stuff like that. So it's gonna be cool. Okay.
Excellent.
Bend it down.
So
All right.
This is the gaming section, right?
Yeah, this is the gaming section.
Okay. Here's the first question for the mother. So, what was your favorite game that was the most challenging to you?
Oh, wow. Okay, so I am somebody who loves all kinds of games. I love card games. I love board games. I love computer games. Growing up, the game that I loved to play that was the most challenging for me was the Oregon Trail. And it was the most challenging because you had to get your stuff like just right. You know what I'm saying? You had to make decisions, like real life decisions. Am I gonna load the wagon up with food and then the axle break and we stuck, you know what I'm saying? Or am I gonna have my supplies to make sure the wagon gets all the way to Oregon, but then we're gonna starve? Am I gonna have medicine so we don't die of dysentery? Like you had to make real tough decisions about. And you could play around with it every time. So for me, that was the most challenging game. Board game wise, I would say the most challenging game is cribbage. I love that game. I love cribbage.
And that's a board/card game.
It's a board/card game. Eric taught me how to play cribbage, and I have not. The Grasshopper has not been able to.
Shouts out to Mr. Duncan, Mr. Warren Duncan at Tuskegee University.
Yeah, I'm still.
My band director.
That's still a challenge.
Put me on that.
Yeah.
My band director, assistant band director, they were always playing that game, and they were cutthroat.
I love it. I love the game.
You got to be able to count.
Yeah.
You got to be able to.
It's a lot happening at the same
strategy.
time.
It's a lot, but it was fun. It was fun.
And
they used to cuss me out because I couldn't play fast enough. They was like, "You taking too long."
Yeah, like I need time to think. And then card game, it's big. I mean, I'm still learning how to play bid and still kind of growing in my confidence to bid. I like to be a defensive player and set people. But I'm learning slowly how to bid. I think cribbage and bid are those games that you just learn for a lifetime.
So, like, for those who don't know anything about bid, like myself.
Okay. So
if you know how to play spades,
you can play bid. Yeah, bid is like spades, except there's two main differences. The first is that after everybody bids individually. Okay, well, so there's three differences. Everybody bids individually is the first difference. And then the second difference is there are an extra 6 cards called the kitty. So everybody has 12 cards instead of the usual like 13 or 14. Because when you play spades, you'll
13.
Remove the deuce of clubs, you remove the booger and
I leave the booger in. I take the.
What do you take out normally?
I take out the red ones.
Yeah,
okay.
So most people will take the red, and the booger is.
But sometimes they'll keep the deuce of diamonds because it's off color, so they won't lose it. But
So all of those cards you remove from the deck normally when you play spades, you take those plus everybody gets 1 less card. So there's 6 cards left over that are called the kitty. And if you win the bid, you actually win the kitty. And you can add cards to your hand. Like you can replace cards from the kitty in your hand to make your hand more advantageous. And then the third difference between bid and spades is that in spades, the trump is always the spade. But in bid, if you win the bid, you get to call what the trump is.
So you know how you get on hands where you got like a bunch of diamonds and you like, I wish diamonds was the spades or the trump.
To make that
and bid, that could be, if you win the bid, then it's diamonds that wins everything.
Exactly.
And then it's also one more difference. You can go uptown or downtown.
Oh, that's right.
So
or no,
yeah. Which means there's no trump and it's just basically high card wins like a I declare war on steroids.
Exactly. Yeah. But uptown means that the high cards win. So, ace, king, queen on down the line. And then
downtown or low
means the low. So
would be ace, 2, 3, 4 on up.
Mm-hmm. And then the jokers are the highest no matter what.
On either end. You can put them on either end. It's a great game.
It is. Unless there's a no.
Unless there's a no, the jokers don't count.
The jokers are garbage.
It is what it is.
Yeah, the jokers are garbage.
And the no could go up or down as well.
It can. Yeah.
Now, on the note for Oregon Trail,
yes,
I want you to try out a game called Frostpunk. It has
Frostpunk.
Frostpunk.
Okay.
It is a very interesting game in which you are stranded and now you're like in this cold area and you have to make decisions with these people.
Oh, I love that.
And try to figure out how to keep them alive.
I'm writing this down.
Yes. It's a strategy game in which you have to basically play with decisions. There's no right or wrong.
Right. It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
almost.
like a
love those games.
Consequence.
Yes.
Either one.
Got you.
I got that. Okay, Frostpunk. Shout out to Frostpunk. We're going to try that out. I'll report back.
Definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That is.
That's game. So, yes, and we got something special that we're working on towards the bid. So,
yeah.
Give us a few more months and we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, we'll be back to announce
it. Yeah, we'll be back to that one.
Cool.
I like this.
I do too. I'm going to move on.
Oh, are we in arts?
Yes, we're in the arts now. Hey y'all, we still in this thing. We just gonna kind of run this one on down. We ain't taking no breaks. We just gonna make it do what it do. And so, welcome to the art segment. We just got through the game segment. It was awesome. We talked about some cool games like Bid Wiz and all kind of stuff. But now we're getting into this art section. This arts, anime, comic books, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to talk to. So go ahead and fade that on out. And we're ready for our arts question. Go for it.
Ooh, okay. So we got a couple.
Okay.
Anime. The first one that I wanted to know was, what is your secret art skill or art talent?
I actually paint.
What?
I paint. I picked it up in graduate school as a distraction from completing my dissertation, along with a few other hobbies, and kept doing it. Once I started to have children, I didn't paint as much, hardly at all, but it's something that, because my eldest son is an artist, I've started to kind of want to get back into and plan to get back into starting this summer. So yeah, I paint.
Yeah, and who are some of the artists that you have introduced Pharaoh to?
Of course, Basquiat,
Jean-Michel.
Jean-Michel. I love him. Who are some others? Georgia O'Keeffe. I really like her, and I like her because she she didn't get notoriety and really become famous until she was old, like much older. So it's like never too late to. And I learned about a lady yesterday who in the 70s was, and her name is escaping me right now. I'm gonna do a little sleuthing and come up with what her name was. But I learned about her yesterday on GPB. Shout out to public radio. Okay, just makes you smarter just by being quiet.
I'm telling you, when we were living in California, like the hour to 2 hour commutes we were on, we had on the NPR. Yes. We would listen to public radio, and anytime we would go anywhere and there was any type of conversation, I could be in that conversation. We could be in that conversation because we were in the know.
To say.
And we, hey, if you just listen, and then I'm telling you, that just gives you some ammunition when you go into like these meetings, or even you meeting with people, you trying to negotiate whatever, and then somebody bring up a question, think you don't know anything about it, then it's like, oh yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm gonna find her name, but I learned about a Black woman who and looked at some of her pieces, who did photography on that was focused on the LGBTQ community before there was an LGBTQ designation. So this would have been in the 70s, and she did photography. She did a piece on Andy Warhol in his apparently he had some type of a procedure, or he had some kind of ailment such that he had to wear essentially like a waist trainer, a girdle, his whole life, so that his entrails and insides would stay in place. And she photographed him in that garment, which meant, imagine how much he had to trust her. And imagine how thoughtful she was as a photographer to be able to capture that moment and allow, his dignity and his humanity to remain intact. So I looked up some of her pieces. She's really, really dope, and I learned about her yesterday. And before this is over, I'm gonna tell you what her name is, so everybody else can know too.
Okay. So we went to art as far as painting, but now let's go into art as an anime. Do you watch anime first off?
So I do, but I don't know any of the names of the anime. My children are like crazy into anime. My son has but I support them in their anime love and devotion, and I actually get sucked into the shows. What was he watching? Wasn't he watching Airbender at one time? Pharaoh?
Yeah, he was watching Airbender, but he's really Naruto.
And he has the shoes, he has the cape, he has the shirt. He has all of that.
Oh yeah. He loves cosplay because even when he was
we do too.
Little. Yes. He was we were watching Face Off.
Yes.
Face Off on Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes.
And that's the name. It's Face Off, right?
Face Off.
Okay, because it's a movie called Face Off too. I just want to make sure with Nicolas Cage. But anywho, we were watching Face Off, and so he would go in there and make him something to go along with.
He sure would.
With the theme or whatever was in the episode, and he loved it. And so at that point, we got hooked up with our friends that are part of Dragon Con, and so every year, for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 4. I think.
4 years. 4 years. We've gone to Dragon Con and been a part of the parade, and just really having a good old time down there. And they love it. The kids love it.
We normally go as a family theme because there's 5 of us. So 1 year we went as Teen Titans Go. And we were a hit all over Dragon Con with that one because there's actually 5 of us, and the right amount of girls and the right amount of boys. 2 girls, 3 boys.
I was Cyclops.
Yes.
She was Raven. My
daughter was
Starfire. Pharaoh
was Robin.
And
Duda was Beast Boy.
Eric Duda. Beast Boy, he's so little. And he had the green paint on and everything. Man, they were like, that Beast, they really liked the Beast Boy.
They really did. He stole the show. He honestly did. And then in 2019, we went as Black Panther.
Yeah.
My daughter and I were part of the Dora Milaje
And one year we were The Incredibles.
We were. That was last year for Halloween. We were The
Oh, okay.
Incredibles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we believe in cosplay.
So let's do a quiz.
Quiz.
If you don't know, and this is for everyone in the future, anybody, Facebook, Instagram, you need to respond that way for us. Don't tell us the name of it.
Okay.
But tell us the momentous scene that you remember in an anime video. So we got to figure out what anime it is and what scene.
Ooh,
momentous
Lord.
scene.
Now let me ask you this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna whisper it in your ear because she said I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
That's considered anime.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So in this scene, there was a warrior who kind of didn't believe in himself, and he was about to go into a battle against another opponent. And so they're in the stadium, and he's kind of like trying to pep himself up with, to get himself together so he can go. And so he gives himself his little pep talk, and then he launches his situation, and then all of a sudden this like horse like emerges up out of the air, honestly, and he starts to glow, and then the boy like believes in himself because he's watching this happen, and then he's like, okay, we're gonna go in for the attack, and he orders the horse to do this like killer move on the opponent, and it completely takes the opponent by surprise, takes his friends by surprise, and he ends up winning the battle and believing in himself in the end.
All right, guys. Let's see what you think that anime scene is from, and definitely we got Pharaoh's Conclave Facebook. Let's post it on Facebook, okay?
Yeah, okay. That would be fun.
That'll work.
Let's see who can get that answer. All right.
Yes.
And I think we can get a prize for that person too.
Yeah, we'll come up with something now.
We got some stuff in the can.
We'll come up with something now
that we can give away.
I'm still working on this. It might be the end of the show when I tell you her name, but I'm gonna tell you her name before the end of the show.
All right, well, cool. So we just gonna keep it right on pushing.
Excellent.
Now this is the music. Ooh. You might want to hear this one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just looking for your reaction. But again, welcome to the music segment. I told you we're just going to keep this thing pushing right here.
Yeah,
this is the music segment.
Mother's Day takeover.
Mother's Day takeover.
Come on, mamas.
M for Mother's Day, M for music. We're going to talk a little bit about the music segment.
All in my wheelhouse.
I got it. Ooh, we got some good questions on this one right here. All right, we're gonna really talk about this. Go ahead and fade that on out there, Mama J. Yeah. So, what kind of musical talents do you have?
That smile.
Well, I sing.
Do you?
Do.
Really?
I play the piano.
Oh, okay.
I play the viola.
Oh.
Okay.
I arrange and produce music and write.
Okay.
I love music. Music's my first love.
Is it really?
Yes.
So, because I'm like her best friend, I already know this, so I'm kind of lead into this one. So what is something new that you're doing with your music right now, or with your love of music?
Yeah, I'm actually preparing myself to manage my daughter in the future. She is the entertainer of the bunch. She sings, she dances, she's a wonderful actress. And I'm going to have to Usher Raymond mama that thing when it's time for her and become her manager. So I'm
the momager.
I'm studying music technology and
where
at Georgia State.
Go ahead, give them shots out of Georgia State.
Yeah, I'm shouting Georgia State out. I'm shouting Georgia State out. Yes, I am learning about I actually have always produced music. but I didn't know the like ins and outs of it. I released a album in 2003 called Eclectic Lady under the moniker J. Nicole, which is that used to be my stage name. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I'm in my 40s. I don't know, but but I learned how to work on a Kai, MPC. I know how to use a beat machine. I knew how to do all of that stuff, but I didn't know the technical names of what it was I was doing. And I also never knew music theory. I taught myself how to play by ear, never had any vocal training, didn't know how to read music, didn't know how to do any of those things. And one thing that I've learned, shout out to the Dissect podcast. I love that podcast that talks about, takes these really seminal albums and breaks them down, not only in terms of the meaning, but in terms of the music theory, that there is a science to music making you feel something, right? But you have to understand the theory and the science in order to manipulate it and wield it as a tool to invoke certain kinds of emotions out of people. And so I was like, I could really take my music to the next level if I had that knowledge. And so decided to go back to school. So even though I have a doctorate, I'm an undergraduate again. So that's what I do in my off time when I'm not professoring. I'm studying music, learning to read music, learning music theory, training my ear. And I have a really good ear, but like understanding technically, if I hear something, is it a 5/7 chord with a flat 5, or like I'm learning that language. And I've heard that language my whole life, but didn't know what all that meant. So yeah. I'm planning for Act 2 now. You gotta always have your Act 2 ready. I won't be an academic my whole life. I don't think. Maybe I will, but I don't think so. But I just feel like you always should have options to express who you are, all of who you are. So I'm not just an intellectual. I am also an artist, and I started that way as an artist. So I feel like you gotta always be able to tap into all parts of you and bring yourself together so you can be whole.
So what person or situation or thing that made you just absolutely realize that, wow, this is something that I want to be passionate about, or I'm passionate about?
Honestly, it was when my mother passed. When my mother passed in 2017, and she was always my biggest cheerleader. No matter what it was I was doing, she was on the front row. She was cheering. She was, just there and building me up all the time, encouraging me. You can do whatever you want to do. You're capable. You're smart. She pushed me. She was like, she was the Joe Jackson, not in a bad way, but in a good way, in terms of like, you're going to be great, and I'm not going to accept less than greatness out of you because it's in you. Like, she didn't let me slack. And so, for me, when she passed away, and I'm still kind of dealing with this, I'm a little bit untethered. She and I talked like multiple times a day. And just really, I leaned on her. And once her physical presence wasn't there, I realized how big of a void it was. But I also realized that my mother was incredibly successful in a way that didn't involve being super wealthy or having a bunch of followers or, the normal types of metrics we use to measure success. She was successful because she had an impact on the people around her that touched their lives in a really, really, really deep way. When she passed away, folks came up out the woodwork, like, your mom called me every week and encouraged me and talked to me about this and that and the third. And, she did this, or she gave me this, or she was so generous and giving of her time and her talent. And I don't know, she made the most efficient use of 24 hours that I've ever seen anybody do. And so for me, it made me reevaluate what success actually looks like and recognize that when you walk in your true purpose, you can have an impact on the world that is like indelible and forever lasting. And so it made me think, okay, I have been compartmentalizing being a musician and a scientist. And I shouldn't compartmentalize those things because they actually feed into each other in my life and helped to make me whole. So it's really, me going back to music has been a part of grieving my mother's loss, and really sort of tapping back into who I've always been, but who I kind of compartmentalized to go off and be this scientist.
I'm trying not to cry now.
Oh!
So sweet. I did not expect that answer. That is a very heartfelt answer.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It's real. I miss her so much, especially on a day like today.
What was your, did she ever sing you a song or anything?
Oh, my mother could sing, yes. In
Oh.
fact, but she didn't like to do it publicly. My father and I were talking about this the other day. There is a video. She and I sang together. Only one time we sang together for a Women's Day program. We were both in the choir, and she pushed me out there when I was like 13 to voluntold me to sing this song. I was very, very shy, and I'm still very shy when it comes to singing. But some kind of way, the choir director found out she could sing too. Because my mother played the piano. My mother directed choirs when she was growing up. Like, she was like the truth. But you would never know that, you know, just sitting down, kind of having a casual conversation with her, because she was really, really super, super humble. But we sang together. When the choir director found out she could sing, she put us on a song together. And so my father and I were talking about, he filmed it. And we were talking about trying to find that tape so that I could, you know, it's on an analog, like VHS tape. But I bought a machine that'll let me turn it into something digital so we could share it. But yeah,
What
so my
song
mama,
was it?
you know what? I don't remember the name of it. I'm telling you, because we only sung it one time, and I might have been like 16 when we sang it, and I'm 40, getting ready to be 44 in July. So yeah, I don't remember the name of the song.
Yeah.
You look like you 30.
I appreciate that. You know, good black don't crack.
Try to let them know. Man, so we just gonna keep it pushing.
Yes.
We gonna keep it pushing.
Are we moving on?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Hey,
all right.
That was fun.
This is our esports segment.
I love this.
And turn up just a little bit.
Good old marching band.
Yeah, this is our good march, baby. Let them know. Yeah.
March,
Big point, you got a march.
You got a hop.
Hit the split, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Esports segment of the GameFi podcast, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. So we're gonna get right back into this thing. Esports. You have any good esports questions for us?
Oh, absolutely.
Hit them, Kimiko.
Absolutely. You know, since we all love video games.
That's right.
The first question was, what is your favorite esports game up to date?
Mine is Hearthstone. And I mean, you know, I love the strategy in it. I love the strategy. I love the sound effects.
Yeah.
And I love the chat, because people really talk mad smack in the chat. And I like that. I'm not a smack talker. I let my cards talk for me. But I love that game a lot.
I'm Rocket League. You know,
Yeah. Oh, right.
me hearing Rocket League go in.
Yeah, you're good at it too.
Now, do you do any ranked Hearthstones at all?
Child, you know what? When you have as much going on as I have going on, I don't have enough time to play at the rate that I need to play to be ranked. Like, if I ever get the opportunity to like take a year off, I'm gonna go for that. And I'm gonna be ranked. You bet your bottom dollar. I'm gonna be ranked.
So what was your first esports event that y'all ever conducted?
That we conducted?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the Georgia High School Esports
No,
Invitational. We did
It
one
was
before
before
that.
that.
It was at Battle and Brew. That was our first one.
No.
It was.
That was more of a card game.
Oh,
I mean,
it was.
We
we
didn't
did
play a
some-
video game.
We
though.
didn't play any video
Nah,
games.
we just had
So it was
everybody
at Georgia
do
State then.
It was.
Was that the first one?
It was the one we did at Georgia at the
State.
Loudermilk.
At the Loudermilk
It was
Center.
the one we did at Loudermilk Center.
Yes.
It was wait, no, we did the Madden challenge at
the Microsoft
store.
Listen, see,
Look, we done so much. So
it was the Madden challenge.
it was the Madden. We did a Madden challenge.
It was leading up to the Super Bowl.
Right. It was leading up to the
What
Super
year
Bowl.
was this?
2016, maybe?
I think.
Oh.
2016, 2017.
I believe so.
I think so. We had we went into a partnership with the Microsoft stores to Well, actually, if you want to be real, well, we'll talk about that one. But I think the real one was at the movie theater. Let's go all the way back.
Man, I forgot about that.
So let me talk about Microsoft Store first.
Okay, and then we'll talk about the movie tavern.
Movie tavern. Yep. Okay. So we had a partnership with the Microsoft stores in Atlanta, in Metro Atlanta. That year, where was the Super Bowl? It was in Florida somewhere. Wasn't it in Miami?
I don't think it was in Miami. It might have been in. It was
Jackson. It was in Jackson.
Was it Jacksonville?
It might have been. It was somewhere.
I don't know.
But Microsoft had acquired some passes to the Super Bowl. And so we partnered with them to host the Madden tournament. It was Madden, FIFA, and 2K, wasn't it? Madden, 2K,
yes.
and FIFA. But it was the Madden one they were focusing on. We did a set of tournaments with them before the Madden one. They had them compete at all the stores across the country, and then they brought the winners together to compete for the
Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah. And Georgia didn't win the Super Bowl, but I don't know who did. But it was a lot of fun, and I think that partnership was one that made us feel like, okay, as Pharaoh's Conclave, like we really could do this. We could really do it. So yeah.
And then we went from that, and then we had the Ladder Milk. Yeah, the one at downtown Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. We actually brought those Metro Atlanta winners to the Loudermilk
and they had
for dominance.
They had a final battle
in Madden, but we also had Call of Duty. We had Smash,
Call of Duty, Madden, and
was it Rocket League?
No, I don't think. I think that's what we stated with those. Those were the ones we had in there
in the beginning
because that was the fighter.
But
Injustice 2.
Injustice, yes.
Injustice 2.
Yes.
Yep.
But the movie tavern though, that was the beginning of Pharaoh's Conclave. That might have been
2015,
15, 16.
So all of this kind of happened all at the same time.
It happened in rapid succession.
It was crazy how it happened.
Yeah.
But we went to the movie tavern and we were like, it'd be cool to play video games on the movie screen.
Yeah.
So we got the manager to be like, I think that is cool to do.
Okay. Let's
do it. And so we had Call of Duty, and we had FIFA.
Yep.
On the screen there, and
we had like three tournaments.
Yeah, we had 3 tournaments ran, and it was cool. It was fun to really watch it and to see that, and the people were excited about it. So we were like,
especially
okay,
on
cool.
Big screen. I mean, why haven't you done it again?
Right. Well,
this is also where we learned our lesson about how business works, right? Mm-hmm. Because that one manager, I wish I could remember his name so we could shout him out because he was so forward thinking. At that particular movie tavern, his whole staff was full of gamers and cosplayers, right? So they were like hyped. They were excited. Like, yes, we finally get to bring mixed gaming and movies, which are the two things that they love.
Absolutely.
But when either the regional manager or somebody above him heard about
what we were doing,
and they put the kibosh on it. But I bet you if they had known COVID was coming a few years later, they would have tried to make that work.
I mean, hey.
It's not too late, but it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see. We were reading something, I don't know, maybe last year about, some folks who were like, oh yeah, we're gonna be trying to go to the movie theater.
And somebody reached out to us from a movie theater that were thinking about doing, games on the screen.
But it was interesting to see that come back around because we were way ahead of our time with that one.
Because even at that time, the technology inside of the movie theaters, everybody hadn't gone digital.
They had.
But they had gone digital. Yeah. So it was easy to hook in the PlayStation to their projector so it can go. Yep. A lot of them weren't there yet, and they were just starting to switch over too as well. So we really were ahead.
I used to be an assistant manager at a movie.
Okay.
When the first IMAX came out, all that was just.
Yep, exactly.
I
love that sound.
It lets you know you about to see a good movie.
I'm telling you.
Let's go into the future of esports.
Yeah.
The future of esports.
So, tell me what you're excited about as far as the future of esports and how you are affecting esports.
Yeah, I think for me, the thing I'm most excited about, and I've always been excited about this with esports, is that it's still so fresh and open that the rules haven't been set about who's in and who's out. Now, that's not to say folks ain't trying to set rules, but the rules have not been set. right? And so that gives us an opportunity to come in and ensure that esports is shaped in such a way that it's equitable and it's welcoming and it's available and accessible to young kids of color. So for me, that is the part that I'm most excited about, and that's where we're really having an impact, is in exposing young people to these career pathways that exist, exposing their parents and their families to the possibilities that exist within gaming and within esports, and then actually guiding young people through so that they see, oh my God, like I really can do this. And their families see, oh my God, you really are not gonna be in my basement on the couch. Like you really are gonna have a career for yourself and be able to take care of yourself. I think that's where the future is going. Like I think that's only gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on.
I think the future of esports is no more just PC. And console will come back, because I told somebody before, we grew up during the console wars. Yeah. So when you want to talk, so outside of the arcades where they would always have competitions inside the arcades, Sega and Nintendo were having competitions at malls all across the country when they were coming out with new content all the time. They were doing it real heavy when they were battling for supremacy. Right. And so I see the future of esports, that it's not just one thing. I think a lot of people try to make esports be kind of almost one thing, when it's electronic gaming. So it is competing with any video game. So there are going to be more games that are going to come out that are different than the traditional. They talk about League of Legends. Okay, not everybody plays League of Legends. Right. Dota, not everybody plays Dota. People play Madden, but for some reason, I don't know if they've gotten behind it enough to really push Madden ahead enough, because I know so many people that play Madden. Yeah. Why isn't it $1 million Madden pot somewhere? I mean,
it's coming though.
Yeah, it should come, but I see that.
And even with the fighting games, like
even with the fighting games, I mean,
play those and they're so good. Why is there this disparity in the money?
In the pots.
So where the money resides.
So if the pots, I say if the pots get higher, like League of Legends has $1 million pots. Put $1 million pot on a Street Fighter. Put $1 million pot on Injustice or Mortal Kombat or Tekken. Yep. They'd come out of the woodworks, and those would be even more thrilling. Yep. To watch those battles than I think some of your Dotas or your League of Legends. So your MOBAs, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. I have an awesome time playing it, but I believe again, that's why I like video games. I play more than one type. I play all genres, and I have a great time doing it. But I'll tell you what's going to sneak up on them. The iRacing is getting more popular, so the racing games are going to get there. So I see that coming out. But again, more VR. Yeah. They'll start be doing that. So you'll actually get to see like Ready Player One type of action going on, where people just in it and they just going at it. Across the world. So you got like thousands and thousands of people just doing a battle royale across everywhere. So I see that. I mean, I think we're not too far away from it, and I think people will embrace it, and it doesn't matter the age or the gender. Everybody's gonna get in, and they're just gonna be going for it.
Get in where you fit in.
Because I thought that was kind of funny watching Ready Player One. Everybody was in it, and when they would lose, they'd be like, "Oh man!" And you could see them in their suits, or they knocking into the wall, they falling down. I mean, they were all in it, and it didn't matter the socioeconomic status. If you had or didn't have, everybody was playing. So that's what I see. Everybody just getting on there and having a good time.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
That's cool.
Okay. It's going to be fun. Oh, one other thing. Future esports too, I see it as more of a decathlon type of event, multi-layer event, and we can get into the way that we have our tournaments with our young people. Yeah. You have to be a well-rounded team. So it's like gymnastics or track and field, where you can't just you can specialize in one, but the whole team has to be good across everything. So you can win your individual, but who's going to be the actual overall team to win the overall goal? Yeah. And that's what I see it happen in the Olympics and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen.
Yep.
It's gonna happen soon.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm
All right.
excited.
Yeah.
I could talk all day about esports.
Well, thank you for joining us in that esports segment. Now we get into our film segment. Again, this is the GameFi podcast, Mother's Day Takeover, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and now we get into our last segment, film. I had some good fun on it. We had some good movies come out recently. We can talk about a little bit of those. Anything you hear coming out, I don't know. We're gonna see. Looks like Chemical ready with some questions over there for film.
I want to first hear what y'all got going on.
Well, no, the movie I just recently saw was one with Michael B. Jordan. What's the name of that movie? I can't say it again. Oh no, not Coming to America. No, I saw that one. Yeah, we did see that one. We did see that one. But this one, he was it was
Michael,
almost.
wait, I'm sorry.
The red background.
No remorse.
No
remorse. That's it. No remorse. It took me a minute. I told you I'm a blockbuster guy.
You are.
You know, it just take me a minute to come back with the title. So
I totally see the wrong person.
But you got that. We got the Jason Statham movie coming out soon. I'm probably gonna try to see that. I'm glad everything's streaming now, so I can get my popcorn. I can sit in my house.
Sit in your house
and watch
Come
movies.
On now.
You know, I've been binging Titans.
Yep.
You know, on the DC Titans, I've been binging that on HBO Max. That's been fun. But I like the way that I like the sci-fi aspect of a lot of the TV shows, and I like to binge them, so I can just see everything that happens from then. But then also I got to look to see a lot of those settings are here in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and I love that. I'm like, oh, that's over by. And then I take pride in seeing that, and then letting everybody know, that was filmed in Atlanta. So that's cool to see.
Exactly.
That was good.
Jakita, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So when you're watching a movie, what is it that just captivates you? You're like, when you get locked in, there's an element in the story or something in the movie that makes you go, I got to keep watching it. What is that captivating?
I really like when movies show you the outcome first and then back you up to tell you how we got there.
Okay.
I love movies that do that. I love movies that open up with the conflict kind of right away, and you don't have all the answers. You got a ton of questions, and most of the time, if we're in the actual movie theater, I'll be actually asking him the questions. It's like, what just happened?
Oh my God.
What does that mean? What they do?
I hate that. I can't stand it. Oh my goodness. Ask me questions. I'm like, I'm watching it just like you are. Now, to be fair, I could answer those questions based on what I believe, and I've seen enough of these movies to kind of understand the plot and how probably how I got there. But I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to watch the movie. Quit asking me questions.
I'm asking a million
I'm sitting there like I'll be at my mom's house and they're in the room and they just they talking like I'm trying to watch a movie, y'all. And then they ask me a question. I'm like, well, you should have been watching the movie. They just literally, that person was developed.
A new question.
Yes.
So, as a couple, what is the movie or what type of movie that you just can't stand watching, but you watch because he likes it?
Oh, it's a movie that you can't.
Do you have a type of movie that you just like?
I know. She don't like. I like to watch a lot of stuff like Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
That
The problem is that it's not that I don't like them, but like I'm not getting ready to watch 3 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Or
I like the binge.
4 back-to-back movies about, like, I'm not getting ready to sit down and watch the whole Lord of the Rings situation.
So what's up with that trend of like movies being up to like 3-4 hours nowadays?
Ready to do?
Yes, I probably have to space it out.
Like
me. I love video games, right? I'll play video games for long, especially if it's a new one. I'll stay up playing it. But you give me a movie or a set of movies, like I can sit there and watch those movies, like, and I'll lose a whole day.
But now,
just watching the movies.
But now, if it's documentaries, I'll go back to back to back to back to back because I love that form. I love that format.
Shouts out to Danny Sadler, one of our high school intern. He just completed his esports documentary.
He did, and we're gonna be screening it at the national championship June 11th and 12th.
Yep.
So wait. So are you more of a nonfiction type of person?
I love nonfiction things. Yeah, I love biographies, and I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, probably a lot of it. So I like those documentaries that are like telling you kind of the behind the scenes stuff. Like I'm actually working on as if I need to add anything to my plate, but I'm naturally curious too. So I just bought the Kerner report that came out in the 60s. They actually did a study in the 60s. The informal name is the Kerner report. I don't remember what the long name of it is, but essentially Lyndon B. Johnson commissioned a study after the assassination of Dr. King to understand what was happening. Like, why was there all this unrest? Why was there poverty? Why was there an increase in crime? Why was there all of this? And so they engaged this commission to come together, and they generated what came to be known as the Kerner Report. When it was released, it was actually a bestseller, which meant that they turned it into a book, and people went out and bought it, and it made the New York Times bestsellers list, right? Wow. In it, they essentially said the root of all of this is institutional racism. So if you want to fix everything else, the government needs to invest in addressing the racial disparities that exist that are creating these outcomes. Okay, so then what that means to me is the government had the answer, right? They knew this is how we fix these issues and ills that we claim we care about and we want to fix. So why didn't they do anything about it? Why, all these years and decades later, do we still have the same disparities? And I would argue they're probably worse now than they were even in that time, right? So I'm thinking through doing a podcast around the Kerner Report to begin to kind of just think it through and ask those questions. So I'm like a naturally curious person like that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, just to feedback on that, I had my grandmother, bless her soul, I was able to get a couple things from her. It's just like a little thing full of like some of it was her choir songs, but then inside of it, there was actually an article of her, retiring, and she was a social worker. And one thing that she became the director of social worker in Atlanta or Henry County. And one of the things she was talking about was that the black social workers worked only on the black cases, and the white ones worked on the white cases.
Right.
And she was, of course, a part of the black one because I'm mixed. But but she was saying how like what she was trying to do was to be give, I guess, equality to it, and she was just pointing out how things were just different based on the social decorum there. And even like one day we were like driving down the Fox Theater, and she was like, "Oh, I remember where me and your grandfather had to go to the back of the Fox Theater just to watch a movie."
Yep.
And I was like, "Wow, really? Even after the time, it
Yes.
was even after the
Yes,
Jim Crow thing.
absolutely.
People were still like
holding on.
Yeah, holding on.
Yeah, it wasn't different. It took a while. I mean, think about it. I mean, civil rights, 60s. After Jim Crow, he went into segregation at that point. So, I mean, up in the balconies, my mom used to tell us how they used to throw stuff, and they was like, I don't know why they put us in the balcony. Cause they would waste popcorn and drinks on the white folks at the bottom, just to kind of get back at them. And wasn't nothing they could do about it because they didn't know who did it. Right. So I was like, man, but that's how, to see where we are and where we could be is something I always think about. If things just would have been, people been honest and willing to work together.
Well, first of all, if folks had recognized just the basic humanity of people.
And I think that's it. And it wasn't that we had to necessarily, desegregation was what the goal was for.
Right.
Not integration.
Right.
And the flip was integration, because what happened was when things were integrated, we started, we were like, oh, we have permission to go to these businesses that we weren't able to go to before. And because we did that, there was a flight away from already established businesses in our community, and they eventually had to close down because they lost business. And people will tell you, I went to that diner and that was the worst food I ever ate when I went to this white diner, but the fact that we could go, we decided to do that, and we did it in such frequency that it hurt our own community. Yeah. And all we really wanted was desegregation. We just wanted the option.
Right, the choice.
the choice to be able to go where we wanted to go.
Right.
As opposed to integration. But I mean,
I'm still gonna choose not to have raisins in my potato salad, but I want the option
that I can go
that I can have it or not have it.
Yeah, that's an inside black community joke. Yeah, at the cookout.
Well, So I love bringing it back to the question you originally answered. I do love nonfiction films, things that are historical, things that are really kind of getting at the root of what is sort of cause and effect. I'm really into stuff like that. So I love documentaries.
All right. And just to go on to a light note on film, what is the most embarrassing movie that Eric likes?
Embarrassing?
Like embarrassed. Like you think he would be embarrassed to be like, I really love this movie.
Oh my gosh, I don't know, because he really loves movies.
I watch them all.
He watches all the movies and he has no shame. I don't know.
Embarrassed?
That's a hard question. Embarrassing.
Like, how some people, they're like, oh yeah, I only watch action films.
Oh, nah, I literally remember I told you I had that blockbuster everything. Background, so I have to be real versed in my cinematic knowledge.
He likes musicals.
I watch the musicals,
all of it.
I don't watch. I don't know. Musicals might be my. Well, I don't know. I like.
You like School Days?
I do. Well, yeah, School Days. I like Little Shop of Horrors. I like, something like the old school musicals. I might get into them a little bit, but I don't mind. I like the way. I do like how they are making musicals now. There's a lot of movies that are coming out now that are actually musicals, and you be like, oh, they actually made that into a musical. Okay, well, let me sit there and watch it. But I will watch it just to see where it goes, because I always have the mindset of when I'm sitting down in front of a movie, I'm not looking for some great cinematic masterpiece. It's entertainment. And my thing is, was I entertained when I watched this movie, or did I just lose a couple hours of my life that I can never get back?
Reclaim my time.
And so that's really, at the end of the day, how I'm approaching a movie. So if I'm a laugh, like I remember growing up, Gilbert Gottfried on like Channel 69 or something or other. They used to do sci-fi movies then, back in the day. This was like in the 80s and 90s. It was Gilbert, and it was late at night.
Very late.
And I was watching like The Toxic Avenger, Killer Tomatoes, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And it was like a bunch of weird movies like that. But they were cool because they were like the real B science fiction B-level movies where like horrible makeup, horrible special effects, horrible. I'm talking, when I say horrible, like the Toxic, if you actually ever watch The Toxic Avenger, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe they actually filmed that. They gave somebody some money to actually film that. But it was okay though. It was okay.
It was a cool DIY affair.
It was.
Like
and it was
Wild
cool.
Krat.
Exactly. It was cool to see, but because again, it was the imagination of people say, we're gonna put this on screen, and how they figured out how to at least attempt to put it on the screen was cool. Was cool to watch. So, but I watch pretty much anything.
He will. I don't know that he's embarrassed about anything.
I thought she was gonna give him a answer like, oh, he likes to sing Frozen.
He did. Hey, he's like animation,
and Lord knows our daughter loved it. What? She ran up She ran up a $700 bill.
I don't have to see
on Frozen. Yes, ma'am. It came out when she was, how old was Vivian?
I don't even
2,
know.
3,
when crazy.
3, 4 maybe when it came out. And we had, this shows you the mastermind that this little girl is. We had set a parental code on our cable box because she had been watching it so frequently, like every 2 seconds, it was, hey, na, na, hey, na, na, like literally. And so we set the parental code, and I want to say maybe a week went by, and I hear, hey, na, na, hey, na, na. And I'm like, Vivian, how did you... 4, sluice the parental code.
Figured it out.
Ran up, watched that movie so many times, paid for it so many times. The bill was like $700. And I called the cable company like, y'all, my 4-year-old
y'all got to work with me on this one.
They did. And
but I will say this though. I feel less embarrassed or less weird now that I have kids.
Oh yeah, if you a grown man,
I can go watch those movies. I'll be like, Spirit, we finna hit that Mulan. We gonna hit that up.
Yes.
But I mean, you got Disney Plus now, so now I'm in the house. I ain't got to go. I go straight Disney Plus, boom, 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 and do what I do. Yes. You know, and I'll watch it. I'll binge it, and
we enjoyed as a family coming to
I like
America.
The director's cut.
We enjoyed coming to America when it came out straight to Amazon. That was awesome.
Good.
Coming to America is my favorite movie.
Now, what I liked about that is how they told some of that backstory that you didn't know.
Yes.
And they used some of that edited cut footage that they didn't use in the first movie.
Right.
And used it in this movie. And so a lot of people don't think about that either. Like I was talking with we were talking about the Justice League, the Snyder's version of Justice League. Like a lot of that movie was the same Justice League movie that came out. It was just the stuff that was on the cutting room floor that didn't make it. And all they did was they retold the story. They used footage they already had, picked it up, and you had a whole nother movie that came out.
That's genius, actually. That's called recycling.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They straight recycled it. It was a whole other movie because it ended differently. Steppenwolf died a different way in that second one. Like, they, beat him up and cut his head off in the second one, where Steppenwolf was just taken by the fear demons, the parademons. They took him away in the first one. So it was like they were able to do an alternative ending, and I like that. Yeah, they started doing the alternate endings and on the DVDs. I thought that was pretty cool. The outtakes, I love watching outtakes.
Love watching the outtakes.
They're pretty cool too. So I mean, I'm a movie guy.
Okay, so let's stop talking about everybody else's movies. Let's talk about what films you guys are going to be featured in soon, or any possibilities of that.
Do we have any films? I know we got.
Are you in the documentary we talked about?
Yes, I'm actually in the documentary that we're talking about. I'm in that.
Oh, actually, while we tripping, we got an answer to that question, girl. Okay, go ahead.
No, you answer it. I don't know.
So we are featured. Well, I'm featured specifically in Steve Von Zell's movie, The Black Tech Mecca.
Black Tech and White.
Yeah, Black Tech and White. He has his series in it's
Tech in Black and White.
Tech in Black and White. Come on, Steve Von Zell. Shout out to Steve Von Zell. We gotta get him on here, like for real.
He was on here.
He was on here. That's right.
We gotta bring him back.
I was being a dance mom. Yeah. We gotta bring him back though. For sure. We're featured in that film. And then the documentary. You're in that documentary.
Yeah, I'm in that documentary. And then we have Google's been working with us on a cartoon that's coming out. It's a short little feature. So a little vignette.
Yeah, a little vignette.
So that's going to be cool. We'll be featuring in that. But I mean, we talked the other day. Like I listen to sports talk radio a lot. So
all the time.
All the time. 92.9 The Game. Shouts out to The Game. But I listen to that, and there's a segment that comes on the weekends, and they talk about the movie opportunities that are in Atlanta. So I was like, you know what? We need to be just some extras in some movies, because they always looking for extras for everything, like restaurant scenes and stuff like that. I can sit and fake talk while action is going on in the movie.
We did talk about that.
I don't have a problem. We talk about, so we're gonna
steal the scene.
We're gonna get into that. And if you steal the scene, they're not gonna call you back. Because you're not supposed to look in the camera when you're doing that and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna do that because there's so much going on here in Atlanta when it comes to film that we have to definitely try to be a part of it as much as we can, because that also is a career pathway with a lot of the technology that exists in video gaming. Lord of the Rings, for instance, all of those mega fight scenes are Unity and Unreal Engine
Generated.
They generated that on there, and that's how they do it because it's in the video games right now.
Yep.
You see all these demons coming in, and you got to show that that's just video games. It's in the movies too. So they just they do that. SCAD does it all the time. I've watched a lot of capstone projects from students from SCAD and things. So they're doing some amazing things. But a lot of people don't know you can transfer those skills and those. That's why we do the GameFi podcast, everybody, where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film.
Exactly.
It's all related. It is not silos. It's all connected.
All
and so
connected.
when we understand that connection, now more people, I think, will find more opportunities for themselves when it comes to that.
I agree.
Has this been fun?
Absolutely.
It has been.
Have we enjoyed it? Jay Black, you need to get a shout out to your mama. All the mamas. Everybody's mamas.
Baby's mamas.
Baby's mamas.
Baby's mamas.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Shout out to Outkast.
Man, that's what's up, man. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and outro this thing.
Listen, I'm still looking for. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to post in the description for this segment, for this video, I'm gonna post the name of that woman because I believe in elevating black women.
Definitely.
That photographer. I'm gonna
got to hit that outro. Hit that outro for her. There we go, y'all. You hear the sirens. You know what time it is. You know what that means. Thank y'all
Mother's Day, everybody.
again for joining us. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there for this Mother's Day takeover.
And hugs to those of us who are experiencing Mother's Day without our mothers in physical presence this year, but their spirits will always be with us and they'll always be in our hearts. We love you.
Thank you again. This has been the GameFi podcast where we talk everything gaming, arts, music, esports, and film.
Yep.
Special Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you, Jakita. Definitely. And all the moms out there, again, happy Mother's Day. My mom's in Vegas, chilling, making it do what it do. I hope so. Should have slid a little something before she left, but I was like, nah, she good.
Well, peace up. A-Town down.
2 and 2, peace, 2 fingers. Yeah.